Welcome to the show, everybody. I got a good one here for you. We are talking about the top 10 busts. Yes, big name busts, players to avoid. Stay away from these players, guys, for Fantasy Football 2023. I'll tell you who they are and why you need to stay away from them, guys. Let's dive into it. We're talking busts. Stay away from these players at all costs. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome to the show. Exciting one here for you. We are full flow fantasy football season, and a lot of people are already in their drafts. I am diving into the top 10 big named busts. Yes, players that have had years to wow me, guys. And guess what? I'm not wowed. So before I dive into this show, because this is very important, I will be saving your season here. Before I get into this, make sure you guys do smash that thumbs up. Lion thumbs up, guys, below. Smash that thumbs up. And of course, guys, very, very important, make sure you guys do get that 16-round draft solution. I've linked it below, guys. Use promo code SMASH to save. Secure the solution. Secure the championship, all right? Let's dive into this, guys. 10 players you need to avoid. Fantasy football busts. Do not draft. Do not draft. Do not draft. All right, guys, let's dive into it. The first one here. All right. Now, this is why I created 16 rounds, because there's more than these guys. It's not just these guys and that's it, guys. There's tons of players to avoid, like, Rashad Pennies of the world, Swift. And there's players like that just absolutely suck. The Tyler Boyds of the world. There's so many players that suck. I just picked 10 here. There's way more. That's why you got to get the 16-round draft solution, because in the solution, I actually go over all the optimal players, omitting all the people naturally that you should avoid. So I cannot implore you enough how important the 16-round draft solution is. Everything you need, sleepers, breakouts, optimal players, get it below. Use code SMASH to save. I got to keep plugging it, because that's going to help you guys win. First player is Lamar Jackson, okay? Avoid this guy at all costs. He's sitting at QB4. Now, listen, there's so many other quarterbacks I love ahead of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson could actually have himself a monster year. I'm just not buying in. Why? Because he doesn't throw past 3,000 yards. That's number one. Number two, he's a running back, which gives you that running back upside, which again, you could say is exciting. But he has not finished the season the past two seasons, playing 12 games and 12 games respectively in those seasons. So I know he's paid and incentivized now. So like, where's the hunger now? So he could have a good year. I'm just not investing. There's other guys like Justin Herbert and other guys I like better than Lamar Jackson, because this is the year you need to anchor your team with an ace quarterback. I just don't feel Lamar Jackson's it. If I'm rolling the dice and gambling on an upside running quarterback, why not go Anthony Richardson? Why not go Russell Wilson later, who has finished top 10 many times and due for a bounce back year? And I don't got to spend an early 4th round pick or wherever Lamar's going, right? Way too early for me. Lamar Jackson, like I said, could have a good year. This is the one out of all these where I think he's got the most upside, maybe him and the second guy I'm going to mention here. But at the end of the day, man, I'm just not going to pay the price for a guy who's not finished the past two seasons. So Lamar Jackson is a player I'm avoiding. The second player I'm avoiding, guys, all right, completely staying away from him. Do not trust him at all. Will be staying away completely, is Austin Ekeler, all right? Austin Ekeler, guys, I'm staying away. Why am I staying away from Austin Ekeler? Guys, this is very simple for me. He had a pinnacle year last year, 127 targets. They brought in Quentin Johnson for the reason. They drafted a 1st-round pick, guys, because they want to throw the ball more. The offensive coordinator must have had a deal under the table for Austin Ekeler that if Austin Ekeler got, this is hypothetical, that if Austin Ekeler got a mega contract, he would get a cut of it, because Austin Ekeler was trying to prove himself that he's a great running back, which he's not, because if he was, he would have got a mega contract with the Chargers this year, which he didn't. So Austin Ekeler had a deal with Lombardi or something like that. This is my guess. Check down. Keep throwing it to Austin Ekeler. If I went in there and got the ball every play, I would have came up with the same fantasy points as Austin Ekeler. 127 targets, 100 some odd receptions. I don't care. It's going to go down. New offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, the addition of Quentin Johnson, they're going to be throwing the ball more. Now, the only good news for Austin Ekeler is that he came out of the NFL draft unscathed. There really isn't any competition there. They got Kelly, they got Spiller, who I think will get more work this year. But Austin Ekeler's an RB2. There's no way I'm paying that much for a running back who's a backup. Been a backup to Melvin Gordon for years. He can't rush for 1,000 yards to save his life. I can't stand Austin Eckler. He's not worth it. Will significantly decline, okay? Completely out of this RB2 nonsense. It's garbage. It's trash. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pay it, all right? Number 3 here, another trash player sitting as RB13, coming off, second, third round, way too expensive for me. The guy I'm talking about is Travis Etienne. Why am I staying away? Because he got hurt his first season. He's only played one season out of 2. So out of a possible, 40 games, 38 games or whatever, 36 games, he's only played half of them. And in the half last year when he played, he had the opportunity to really shine and finish as an RB17 or so. I mean, you had the opportunity. There was no one else there, and you still crapped the bed. In comes Tank Bigsby, who I've been telling you to draft. Fade ATN, draft Bigsby. Fade ATN, draft Bigsby. Fade ATN. I think you guys know how to fill in the rest. Draft Tank Bigsby. You get him for way more value. Round 8, 9, you get... I'm telling you, don't draft Travis Etienne. The guy had 3.2 points game, multiple 3.2 point games. He had a 0.3 PPR game. Imagine he's your RB1 last year, which he wasn't on mine because if you got 16 rounds, you avoid it. Imagine that. And then he has a 0.3 game. He started off the season rough, too, under 10 points in a couple games. The guy sucks. He's overrated. He drops the ball. And Bigsby's stronger, bigger, aggressive, cuts better. Bigsby's the man. If you look at the news, I've been talking about this since May. Now the news is breaking that they're going to expand Bigsby's role. ATN is going to be the biggest waste of a fantasy football pick this year. He's a bust. Do not draft. Do not draft. Do not draft Travis Etienne. All right. Number 4 here. And another guy I don't understand. I don't see the hype. The guy's never rushed for 1,000 yards in his entire career. No 1,000-yard rushing seasons for James Conner. And I don't get it. He's sitting at RB 21 or so. And what people are doing is they're going 0 RB, meaning getting wide receivers early, and then they're getting James Conner as their RB1, RB2, and thinking, hey, I got this draft solved. I'm good, James Conner. I mean, the only good news for James Conner is they don't have another running back there. All right, so James Conner now is in a position to succeed, but the guy sucks. Like I said, finished 19th last year. Everybody had him as a top 10 running back because he had a good year the year before. We had like 15 or something touchdowns, which was like an anomaly. He's a touchdown monster. He's a goal line vulture, but that's it. He's not a great player. He's entering his, 7th season or something like that. 5th, 7th, he's up there. I don't even care. This is a guy I'm not even drafting. So when it's players I know suck and are trash, I just don't even look at bother 6th, 7th year. I think he's like his 7th year or something like that. But James Conner is a guy I'm completely avoiding. And people are like, oh, he's such great value. And again, this is a mistake that Conchifas did last year. Everyone drafted him high last year because the year before with the monster touchdowns, right? And I told you guys, it was a pinnacle year, yet people copied and pasted. The mainstream are lying to you guys. I cannot express this enough. The mainstream Conchifas are lying to you. You need to stop listening to them, guys, okay? Because what they're doing is they're hedging their bets. They're saying, oh, last year these guys finished on top. They're going to finish on top this year. We're going to play it safe. We can't be held accountable. And James Conner was one of those guys last year that they told you to draft him, and he sucked, okay? So James Conner, avoid him. Number 5 here, absolute trash player, garbage, only finished one season out of his career is Dalvin Cook, sitting as RB31. People drafting him thinking he's actually going to play. I mean, yes, they paid him $9 million. He's going to be integrated a little bit, especially at the beginning of the season. But Dalvin Cook's going to get hurt. Probably by week 5, he'll be out for the rest of the season. He's already got shoulder issues that bother him. He's already banged up. He sucks. He's a trash player. Breece Hall's the man. He has no business being on the Jets. In fact, he has no business being in the NFL. He's out. He's done. He's on the tail end of his career. Everyone told you to draft him top 10 last year. He was a top 5 running back, top 4, something like that. And he busted, finished outside the top 10. The Conchifas are still not being held accountable for the mistake that they told you last year to draft Dalvin Cook. I told you to fade Dalvin Cook, and sure enough, Dalvin Cook busted on his ADP. Yes, he finished the season, but he sucks. He's going to get hurt, and the fact that he finished last season, which was the only season he finished, means that was an anomaly year. Then there's no way in heck he's going to finish this season. He's trash. He sucks. Avoid him. Do not draft. Is this sinking in? Now, mind you, that being said, a guy like Eckler this year could still have a big year. Lamar Jackson, yes, but there's better players to draft, safer players to draft, players with more upside, players with more consistency, players with more durability, players that are not coming off pinnacle years. Does this make sense? You do not draft based on last year. I want to emphasize this point home. I want to hammer it home. Get 16 rounds. It'll change your life and the way you view drafts. You're going to be aiming high in the depth chart. You're going to be avoiding players that suck, potential bust. I remember, guys, and he's a bust this year as well, Odell Beckham Jr., guys. I remember for consecutive 3 to 4 years, the mainstream kept telling you, draft him round one, draft him round one, draft him round one. And every year he got busted, but the mainstream consensus were hedging their bets and just, he's a big name. They're playing it safe. Oh, Odell round one, Odell round one. I'm like, do not draft Odell. Do you remember the year when Le'Veon Bell, going back a couple years, was on Pittsburgh and he went to the Jets and he was good on Pittsburgh? And I said, avoid him on the Jets. The Jets suck. He sucks. He's overrated. He's a product of the offensive line. And everybody drafted him round one when he was on the Jets and he busted. It's the same type of thing, guys. They don't think outside the box. The mainstream do not think outside the box. They're lying to you. They're just copying and pasting from last year and telling you to draft them in that order. It's total garbage. I'm the only one, guys. Reality check. I'm all you got. I'm your savior when it comes to fantasy football. Surprise, surprise. But that's the fact because everyone else is lying to you except for me. Let's keep going. Number 6 here, Davante Adams, wide receiver 9, coming off some amazing years. Downgrade at quarterback. That's all I got to say. I'm fading Davante Adams coming off these pinnacle years. I think he's disgruntled. I don't think he's going to like his quarterback. Yes, he's going to get the volume, but there is other wide receivers that get their share too this year. We got the potential holdout of Josh Jacobs, who recently reported to camp. Jacobs are going to get integrated. They got other options. Adams is obviously going to get his fair share, but he's coming off these pinnacle years, and there's no way he's going to continue to repeat that. I'm staying away from Davante Adams. Number 7, this one actually legit pisses me off. He's in his 14th or 13th or 20th season. It doesn't matter. I hate this guy for fantasy football. He sucks. He's trash. The guy I'm talking about is Keenan Allen, sitting at wide receiver 14, coming off in the 3rd round. 3rd round for a 31 whatever year old wide receiver when the Chargers invested a 1st round pick in a young dynamic blend of amazing speed and size. Quentin Johnson, okay? Why would you invest a 3rd round pick in Keenan Allen, who's washed up, who got hurt last year, who can't finish a season to save his life, who's trash and old, when you can get Quentin Johnson around 7 and 9? Give me Quentin Johnson in every draft and fade Keenan Allen. Why am I investing a 3rd round pick in a washed up wide receiver? That's what they're telling you to do. A washed up old wide receiver who's labeled as the one. He's not the one. Quentin Johnson's the one. And I can get Quentin Johnson in round 9. This would literally be like drafting Adam Thielen last year in round 1 or 2 and getting Jefferson in round 9. It doesn't make any sense, guys. Quentin Johnson is amazing. Just feed him. Get rid of Allen, feed Quentin Johnson. And that problem solved. You got a top 5 wide receiver with ease. Allen's got to go away. Either way, I'm not investing a 3rd round pick no matter what the outcome is here. Staying away. Okay. Number 8. I don't see the hype, although he could have a potential breakout year, but I don't care. I'm not paying it. Number 8 here is a fantasy football player to avoid. Stay away is Tony Pollard, sitting as RB4 ahead of Bijan in PPR. It's ludicrous. This guy's getting into his 5th year, guys, number 5, and he's going to back up his entire career. He had 193 attempts last year, and he broke his leg. He couldn't even handle a load of 193 attempts. This is another situation. Fade Etienne, draft Bigsby. This is another situation where you fade Pollard and grab Deuce Vaughn with your literally last pick. Now, his ADP is going up, but in May, nobody knew who Deuce Vaughn is. Now they're starting to ride the train. Deuce Vaughn is small, compact, more scrimmage yards in college than Bijan Robinson. He can get it done in the red zone. He can get it done in between tackles. He can get it done in the passing game. He can get it done on the outside. He was the son of the top scouting prospect for the Dallas Cowboys. Deuce Vaughn, guys, grab him later. Tony Pollard, again, 1,000-yard rushing season, entering his 5th season, was a backup to Zeke. Years to wow us, we're not wowed. You could say he stole, no, he did not steal the job from Zeke. Zeke is just crap. Zeke was fading and falling and just collapsing. And then, they kept working Pollard. They worked him in. He's a good committee back. But that's it. He's overrated. He's overinflated for fantasy, and he's going to be this year's DeAndre Swift. Now, I could be wrong. This guy comes in, tears it up, and has 2,000 rushing yards, and Deuce Vaughn is not used at all. That's a very good possibility, but very unlikely because I know I'm right on this. Grab Deuce Vaughn. Fade Tony Pollard. There's no way I'm spending a late first-round pick on Tony Pollard when he sucks and he was a backup for 4 years. And I don't see this whole backup garbage where a player is a backup and they make him an RB1. Alexander Madison, what has he done? Maybe he has a good year, but highly unlikely, okay? Tony Pollard again, number 8. Number 9, this is Captain Obvious. Some people will draft these too, which is ludicrous. But number 9 is Miles Sanders. Again, this is one of those obvious ones for me. Going to Carolina now, coming from a good team to a bad team with a rookie quarterback, sitting 18th. Again, another situation where people are like, 0 RB. We're going to fade running backs is what they're telling you. We're going to go wide receiver. We're going to get a Devontae Adams and a Keenan Allen early. And then we're going to get ourselves a Miles Sanders and a, who's the other guy here that I just mentioned here? Miles Sanders and James Conner. No. Do not do this, guys. Miles Sanders, downgrade team. Like I said, rookie quarterback. Again, could be safe, maybe, but sucks, guys. Absolute trash player. Sucks. Years to hours were not wowed. Had a decent year last year, but not somebody I'm investing in. Guys, you got to go for the alpha dogs. Running back top heavy early when you're talking fantasy football draft strategy. And then, don't draft these guys. I'd rather have a Tank Bigsby than a Miles Sanders. Let's put it that way. And I can get Bigsby much later after I've got my alpha dogs earlier on, okay? All right, so Miles Sanders, number 9. The last one here, I don't get this, man. He's ahead of Olave, ahead of London, ahead of Calvin Ridley, this guy, and he's trash. All right, before I get into this last guy here, make sure you guys do smash that thumbs up. It really helps the channel. 2 seconds, smash thumbs up, and take the time, guys. Link below, grab 60 rounds, watch the video, secure the solution, secure the championship, right? Last guy here is T. Higgins, guys. I'm not going to say anything other than he's a wide receiver 2. There's no reason why you should be drafting a wide receiver 2 in round 2 to 3. Don't do it. Him and Waddle and Devontae Smith are the betas of the team. You don't spend a second round or third round pick on a beta of a team. You just don't do it. That's all I got to say about this. I'm done. Lamar Jackson could boom, but very hard to trust this year. Austin Eckler, definitely 100% going down, either with injury or decline. Number 3, Travis Etienne. Grab Bigsby later. Number 4, James Conner had one good year, very touchdown dependent, hasn't rushed for 1,000 yards. Number 5, Dalvin Cook is trash, has no business being in the NFL, is going to get 100% hurt this year. Devontae Adams at number 6, downgrade at quarterback, 100% going to decline this year. Keenan Allen, old wash, draft Quentin Johnson. Number 8, Tony Pollard, draft Deuce Vaughn later, avoid Tony Pollard. And again, when I'm telling you avoid these guys, in 60 rounds, I tell you the players to get in those rounds that are better, and then you get the bonus guys later, okay? And then we got, who do we have? Number 9, Miles Sanders. Number 10, T. Higgins. Guys, avoid these players at all costs. And there's tons of other players, the Tyler Boyds of the world, that you should be avoiding, and other players that I do not include in 16 rounds, all right? Guys, I'm trying to help you here. There's other players, there's better players to be drafting than these guys. Like, do not draft Rashad Penny. I didn't put him on the list, but don't do it. All right? Stay away from those major committees, the trash players, the guys that have had years to wow you guys, and you're not wowed. Do not draft. Thanks for being here, guys. Subscribe, thumbs up. Appreciate you. #1 fantasy football podcast. Thumbs up. We're out. Get 16 rounds. We'll talk soon. I'm out.